Hey Capricorn, it's Meg with Padmes, and I'm doing your Tarotscope, your energy check for September. Sorry, it has been a minute. There were 8 cell towers um, installed on the rooftop of my office building. And so I had to figure some things out and move. So it's taken me a little bit, but I'm back and I'll be back more often. I am situated for a bit here. So I am looking at your energy in present time. We're going to do an old wise tree spread. And we're calling in our angels and guides of the highest vibrations of love and light. Calling in our ancestors. And this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, prominent placements, cross watchers, welcome. There we go. Okay, let's see what kind of energy is coming up for you, Cap. All right. So the first thing that I'm noticing, Capricorn, is the big picture. And the big picture is the universe in this deck. It's the world reversed. There is some kind of unfinished business, some things that need to be wrapped up, some loose ends that need to be tied up. So let's check out the heart of the situation. We've got the Seven of Cups and we've got the Eight of Swords. So what this looks like, this unfinished business, it's like there's some kind of pool of opportunity, pool of a bunch of options, and you're thinking about them like in the same way that you've always thought about them somehow. Or these have been around for a long time, whether you have acted on them or not. And I feel like these could be actually like relationships, but I'm also feeling like there are work things that are going on too, like different things that you could actually kind of lots of different cookie jars that you could be deciding what kind of cookies you want in what jars. It's like you have these different opportunities available to you, but you're thinking about them. It's almost like you want something different or like kind of a new availability or a new way of looking at these things, but you're not seeing them differently. Like I don't know if they haven't evolved or changed, or it's like it's the same old things that have been there for a long time, but something is different about them, or something about them can change if you allow them to. If you think about them differently, it's kind of like we have it might have been true before, but now things have moved forward, things have changed, time has passed, like conditions are different somehow, and there's a need to look at them differently based on the conditions that are new. Okay, happening now and into the near future, there is some kind, this is like keeping you up at night kind of stuff. Like I want to clarify all of this, and then we're going to look at some energy you don't see coming this month, but there's something here about really constantly being on your mind. It's almost like you're worried about it. And even when we look at your advice is like, it's time to jump out of the window. It's time to like do this blow you out of the water change. It's time for some change to happen. And when this is your advice, it's like, okay, there's time to induce an epiphany. There's something I'm not seeing that I need to see. What is it? You know, I think I'm already going to start clarifying because I just cannot wait. I need to know, what is this big, huge change that you need to induce in your field, in your situation here, Capricorn? What is this tower moment that you need to make sure happens, this big change? Okay, so here's the hangman, but reverse. You no longer have to sacrifice. I feel like this is you giving some of your resources, time, energy, effort, love, money. I even want to say attention to something, some situation or someone. And it's like, I no longer have to sacrifice. I am not going to do that anymore. I'm going to take my time, energy, effort, love, and attention away. I'm going to do this differently. I want to ask another, there's some kind of clear ending, and it's a clear, painful ending. And it might be painful for you, but what I'm actually kind of feeling is it might be painful for someone else, actually. You're coming from your star. So, okay. So all of this is coming from your highest and your greatest good. So whatever it is that you're needing to make a change about, this is your highest and your greatest good. And this is also, I feel like you already know this. So what is it exactly that you are needing to wrap up here? Wow, check that out. Here's your star card again, reverse. What you need to wrap up is somebody that you've been bringing along for the ride, or somebody who's just kind of jumped on the train with you. The thing that needs to be wrapped up is the change, the tower moment, the release of this. And I mean, I'm saying that it's a person, it could be a person, but it could also be some kind of situation that you just keep giving your attention to, or project that you keep giving your attention to, and it's time to stop. It's time to redirect your focus and redirect your energy. Give it somewhere else. Let's take a look at your higher self. Your higher self is talking about, this could be like third party kind of stuff. This could be celebration. This, I do feel like this is celebrating with others, celebrating with someone else. Your higher self is talking about this, and your angels and guides are talking about the 9 of Pentacles. They're talking about your independence. Celebrating your independence, and even celebrating your independence with others. Let's see what that's about. Ah, okay. So what this is saying is like others feel like they're coming along with you. And I feel like you haven't told them that they're not. Yeah. You're like, here's my independence, and here's me literally walking away. So it's almost like people are celebrating with you somehow, and they don't really realize that they're not part of the equation. Oh my goodness. Okay. And this, okay, let's take a look at this heart of the situation. Here's the 9 of Swords right next to the 9 of Swords. You're like, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be difficult to communicate. What am I going to do? However, like, this is you really being victorious and other people seeing you as victorious. And here's this Queen of Swords reverse. I feel like there's some fear here about how other people are going to respond when you back out of a situation. You know, Taurus, Capricorn, you might be dealing with a Taurus. I feel like this has come up before, where you're kind of the decision maker, the decider, the person who's in charge of some things, and you have to tell people how it is, kind of. And there's a fear or, worry, anxiety even about having to tell people what they don't want to hear. All right. I want to look at the star card. You're coming from your highest and your greatest good. You know that this is the best thing to do. Wow, look at that. Here's the 8 of Swords again. And you're like, I am just not doing it. I'm just not doing it yet. Let's take a look at this. Why aren't you doing it? You're like, oh, I'm just kind of like I'm getting myself together so that I'm strong enough to do it. So you're also, this seems like waiting for the best time or the right time or the strongest time. You might even be waiting for someone to like get back on their feet, or waiting for someone to have a high moment so that they're in a good place before you actually let them know that they're not coming along with you this time. Release the idea that it's going to be as bad as you think it is with this Page of Swords reversed. I know, I almost feel like you've done this before. I just said that. But this is, I feel like there's a history of this person or this situation. It's like not going the way that you want to, or you already know how they're going to respond. Yeah, and what I'm getting is the best thing to do is to like rip the band-aid off kind of thing. Um, this is I have resistance to, not going through this rite of passage. So it's coming, and you just have to be self-validating about it. You know what to do, and you know it's the right thing, and so you just have to stick with what you already know. Let's take a look at past, present, future, and then we're going to look at energy you don't see coming. So we've got the Three of Pentacles in the past. So we've got the Three of Pentacles here in this self-validation place. I have resistance to not going through this rite of passage. I need to self-validate in order to get myself through it. In the past, it's like I have relied on other people or brought other people into the mix. I've brought other people into, it's kind of like the inner circle. Ugh. And so I get why this would feel difficult to release people out of like the inner circle feel. However, in your present time, you're like, this is the best decision for me. This is the best thing I could possibly do. This is taking all the emotion out of it. It's just sensical. It's rational. And it's rational because it creates foundation. It creates wealth, literally. It creates grounding. And I also feel like this decision very possibly has to do something with long-term legacy, family, money, even possibly. Let's look at this. Wow, right? Okay, so here's the Six of Swords. I have resistance to not moving on. Here's the Six of Swords, clarifying this Three of Discs, the inner circle. And you're like, yeah, somebody's being left out of the inner circle. And there's some reason for that. Ugh. And what it looks like, well, what it looks like is the reason for that is because you can't trust them. There's something that you can't trust. They weren't honest with you about something. And so you're changing things up. I even feel like somebody, this maybe not for all of you, but for some of you, this has to do with a literal trust, creating a trust so that nothing is left to chance or left to quandary, wonder about. It is what it is. And yeah, having to do with legacy. Somebody is really being very action oriented to make sure whatever it is that they want happens. And it's not something that's going to be easy to tell somebody else. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at energy you don't see coming. I'm hearing the name Travis. That's for some of you. Obviously, it's not for everybody, but Travis. And this is energy you don't see coming. Okay, we've got bad health. I also feel like bad health, it could be literal for sure. Somebody around you might be having this going on, but what I feel like the bad health is referring to is like, it's almost like saying bad blood. So somebody's not going to be happy with what it is that you're telling them. High honor. The thing is, somebody else, they're going to, I feel like somebody feels like somebody's being chosen over them. And yeah, this changes the trajectory of their life. If that is the case, where one person is chosen over another, it changes the trajectory of their lives. Energy you don't see coming. This main female, toil and labor. Somebody feels like they've worked really hard for whatever it is that you are taking away, or they feel like you're taking something away. And here's the community again, though. Here's the longevity. Here's the legacy. And you're kind of like sticking with the program. You're like, I know this is the best thing to do, and I'm doing it. Wow. All right. Let's take a look at your Moonology Capricorn. And be bold and make the first move. So this is some confirmation on moving forward with your highest and your greatest truth, your strength. It's time to release negativity. I also want to say some of you might be dealing with a Leo. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but that kind of popped into nothing will come of this situation. I get that what the changes you've decided to make are for a reason. And I feel like it's because of this trust. I don't feel like this person is going to all of a sudden shift forward, shift up. Okay. That's what we have, Capricorn. And I will be back soon, and I will see you in your next reading. Bye, Cap.